Hi there. It's October 28th, and we are on day 302, I believe. Yep, 302. Get out of here. Get rid of the ads here. And today we are reading John chapter 11. Just John chapter 11, so it ought to be an easy day, all right? There's some good stuff in here, too. In John chapter 11, that Lazarus dies at Bethany. And Lazarus was a good friend of Jesus, so. Now, a man was sick, Lazarus from Bethany, the village of Mary and her sister Martha. Mm-hmm. Mary was the one who anointed the Lord with fragrant oil and wiped his feet with her hair. And it was her brother Lazarus who was sick. So the sister sent a message to him, Lord, the one you love is sick. When Jesus heard it, he said, the sickness will not end in death, but it is for the glory of God, so that the Son of God may be glorified through it. Now Jesus loved Martha, her sister, and Lazarus. Right? Good friends. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was. Then after that, he said to his disciples, let's go to Judea again. Rabbi, the disciples told him, just now the Jews tried to stone you. You're going there again. Aren't there 12 hours in a day? Jesus answered, if anyone walks during the day, he doesn't stumble because he sees the light of this world. If anyone walks during the night, he does stumble because the light is not in him. He said this, and then he told them, our friend Lazarus has fallen asleep, but I'm on my way to wake him up. Then the disciples said to him, Lord, if he has fallen asleep, he will get well. Jesus, however, was speaking about his death, because they thought he was speaking about natural sleep. So Jesus then told them plainly, Lazarus has died. I'm glad for you that I wasn't there, so that you may believe. Let's go to him. Then Thomas, the twin, said to his fellow disciples, let's go so that we may die with him. Wow. The resurrection and the life. When Jesus arrived, he found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb 4 days. Wow. Bethany was near Jerusalem, about 2 miles away. Many of the Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them about their brother. As soon as Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him. But Mary remained seated in the house. Then Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been here, my brother wouldn't have died. Yet even now, I know that whatever you ask from God, God will give you. Your brother will rise again, Jesus told her. Martha said, I know that he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. Oh, yeah, I like that. The one who believes in me, even if he dies, he will live. Anyone who lives and believes in me will never die, ever. Do you believe this? Yes, Lord, she told him, I believe you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who comes into the world. Jesus shares the sorrow of death. Having said this, she went back and called her sister Mary, saying in private, the teacher is here and is calling for you. As soon as she heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Jesus had not yet come into the village, but was still in the place where Martha had met him. The Jews who were with her in the house, consoling her, saw that Mary got up quickly and went out, so they followed her, supposing that she was going to the tomb to cry there. When Mary came to where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and told him, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her crying, and the Jews who had come with her crying, he was angry in his spirit. The Greek word for this is very strong and probably indicates Jesus' anger against sin's tyranny and death. And deeply moved. Where have you put him? He asked. Lord, they told him, come and see. And then, shortest verse in the Bible, Jesus wept. Didn't cry, he wept, right? He wept at the sadness. You know? Jesus will cry with you, okay? Jesus has cried with me. Don't think that he won't cry with you. He will. So the Jews said, see how he loved him. But some others said, couldn't he open the blind man's eyes, also give this man from dying? Kept this man from dying. The 7th sign. Then Jesus, angry in himself again, came to the tomb. It was a cave with a stone lying against it. Remove the stone, Jesus said. Martha, the dead mistress, told him, Lord, he's already decaying. It's been 4 days. Okay, he's going to stink, right? Jesus said to her, didn't I tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God? So they removed the stone. Then Jesus raised his eyes and said, Father, I thank you that you heard me. I know that you always hear me, but because of the crowd standing here, I said this, so that they may believe you sent me. After this, he shouted with a loud voice, Lazarus, come out. Come forth, I like better. Huh? The dead man came out, bound hand and foot with linen strips, with his face wrapped in a cloth. Jesus said to them, loose him and let him go. The plot to kill Jesus. Therefore, many of the Jews who came to Mary and saw what he did believed in him. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. So the chief priests and the Pharisees convened in the Sanhedrin and said, well, what are we going to do since this man does many signs? If we let him continue in this way, everyone will believe in him. Then the Romans will come and remove both our place and our nation. All right. Always afraid of themselves, right? One of them, Caiaphas, who was a high priest that year, said to them, you know nothing at all. You are not considering that it is to your advantage that one man should die for the people rather than the whole nation perish. He was a horrible man. And just a side note, they just found proof of Caiaphas' existence, okay? They found his grave and his bones. Interesting. Just more proof that the Bible is real. Okay. He did not say this on its own, but being high priest that year, he prophesied that Jesus was going to die for the nation, and not for the nation only, but also to unite the scattered children of God. So from that day on, they plotted to kill him. Therefore, Jesus no longer walked openly among the Jews, but departed from there to the countryside near the wilderness, to a town called Ephraim, and he stayed there with the disciples. The Jewish Passover was near, and many went up to Jerusalem from the country to purify themselves before the Passover. They were looking for Jesus and asking one another as they stood in the temple complex, what do you think? He won't come to the festival, will he? The chief priests and the Pharisees had given orders that if anyone knew where he was, he should report it so they could arrest him. All right, we're getting there. Okay, well, that's today. They're going to leave us hanging, aren't they? It's tomorrow. Oh, tomorrow we're reading Luke. 10 men coming to the kingdom, parable assistant widow, more parables, Pharisee, tax collector. See, they're gonna leave us hanging while the other gospels catch up. So, but that's what happens when you're reading the Bible through in 1 year in chronological order in which the events occurred. So there you have it. It's getting interesting now. Lots of cliffhanger. So, but I'm actually not looking forward to reading about Jesus being killed again. Okay, that's always hard to read. So, necessary but hard. So, there you go. Give us a like if you think about it. Catch up on any may I missed. But until tomorrow, we'll continue. See you then.